Hey everyone! Last week we continued my gaming journey story by sharing my very first day one game console launch with the PSP, the first game launch with COD Black Ops 2, and discussing my time with DS Lite, PS3, and PSP. In today's episode, we'll be looking at the start of my streaming career with the PS4, when I finally got myself into Xbox consoles, sharing stories of the games I played during these times, which finally leaded me to getting the PS5. If you do go on to enjoy this episode, please give this podcast a follow on Spotify, as it will help me get discovered to new potential listeners. And a reminder that you can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts and premiering on my YouTube channel every Thursday at 3 p.m. BST. Please enjoy the episode. It was my birthday in 2014 and I'm now a college student. A few months before, Sony would finally release the PS4, which took quite a big leap from PS3 by adding more ways to socialize with your friends through uploading and sharing gameplay clips, the ability to join your friends on the game as they are playing right there and then. But one of the biggest features on PS4 was the fact that you can now stream your gameplay from your console to Twitch, YouTube, etc. On my birthday that year, as a big surprise, I got the PS4 with Killzone Shadowfall and Call of Duty Ghosts. Of course, my family wanted to have a go at the console, so I realized I had spare money that I saved up to get a controller. So after college, I went to my local Asda at the time and brought me an extra PS4 controller. Once I got home, that night I was able to finally begin my first games of Call of Duty Ghosts. And of course, the details of the first COD game of this console was wow. Graphics obviously came a long way since PlayStation started. I got to play multiplayer and it was actually quite smooth. I spent quite a few hours enjoying my first games on PS4. So much so that I started a Twitch account and began my first streams on Twitch playing COD Ghosts. Unfortunately, I only had a not so great headset that provided with the PS4, so my voice was quiet due to that. Throughout the first years I had the PS4, I got my hands on the following games. My first ever Assassin's Creed game with Unity, the franchise's first online game. I was playing the story online and it was quite glitchy at times. I still managed to complete the story campaign. I got to play my first WWE game of the console. I even tried a little bit of FIFA game, first through a demo and then second as a full game. I got that year's Call of Duty game known as Advanced Warfare, which was probably my least favourite COD game. But there was one game that completely blew me away. And that game was Destiny 1. I learned about Destiny when I was browsing the PlayStation Store to see what games were available, and I came across an advertisement saying, "Play the Destiny Open Beta today." I immediately installed it as I was curious about the game. And the second I experienced that opening cinematic of astronauts seeing the Traveler rising, it was that moment I found something special that I could get into. After playing the first ever mission and I landed in the tower for the first time, it was breathtaking seeing a place where you can meet vendors, and in fact it was a place you can bump into other gamers, which was really cool at the time. I was having a fun time looking around the tower. I completely forgot to check out the other parts of the beta. Once the beta ended, I instantly wanted to play more. Destiny 1 was my best friend throughout the time. Even though some people I was in college with did start the game with me, but after a bit they were choosing to abandon me after helping me beat the first main story of Destiny 1. So for most of my time in D1 I was playing solo, and I got to play pretty much everything that the game had to offer, from strikes, arenas, raids, and more. My favourite DLC of D1 was Rise of Iron, as I loved the wintry environment, and I was also interested in learning about the Iron Lords. But when D2 was announced back in 2017, I was completely excited to be able to have the opportunity to finally start a Destiny game day one. I pre-ordered a special edition of the game which came with the expansion pass, collectibles and beta access. I even watched the D2 world premiere at the time, and it was so cool seeing the opening mission revealed for the first time to the world alongside the new planets, social space, gears and more. It also included a feature called Guided Games, which a solo player could match a fire team if you ever wanted to do a raid. I played it the whole beta duration and even got to see the farm social space for the first time. I would go on to beat every story campaign until the recent prophecy stuff, done nearly every raid, been to the lighthouse a few times in trials, and have been through multiple friendship changes as a result. Due to the wake of recent events of D2 ending support, my only message to anyone at Sony or Bungie is this: we won Destiny 3 and D1 for current platforms. I got really excited when Call of Duty announced Black Ops 3, as I'm a big fan of Treyarch Zombies and I was waiting for the hopes for more to come. Black Ops 3 is another favourite COD of mine, as it was the first COD story campaign I ever beaten at the time. I played all 3 modes in the game: campaign, multiplayer and zombies. In fact, around the time I was getting into watching gaming showcases with the E3 stuff, and I remember the day when Call of Duty announced that Black Ops 3 would get 30-day early access to DLCs on PlayStation alongside the multiplayer beta. I was completely rejoiced, as it was the first ever time I get to play COD multiplayer before the game released, so of course I pre-ordered the game to get my beta access. And the day the beta went live, I streamed it on Twitch and I had so much fun getting used to all the stuff available to try out. I even brought every DLC and the season pass for Black Ops 3 so I didn't miss any zombies content or multiplayer map that got added. I got most of Call of Duty on PS4, including Modern Warfare, Black Ops 4, Infinite Warfare, World War II, etc. I would then pre-order my second Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, the day they announced it would be set in Victorian London. It was amazing since my country featured an Assassin's Creed game, as I always had dreams of having a proper day out in London, which I've yet to fulfill. I played it, all the story and even the DLCs included in the season pass. It was so good and captured the true British vibes. Also, I got other Assassin's Creed games with Origins, Odyssey and Valhalla. Other games I played during the PS4 years was Little Big Planet 3, Drive Club, Watch Dogs games, Tomb Raider games, Batman Arkham Knight, to name a few. The big games I played on PS4 were Battlefield games, Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted games, Marvel Spider-Man, Cyberpunk 2077, Red Dead Redemption 2, the list goes on. During that time, I would get myself an Xbox One X and started to get the opportunity to check out Xbox titles like Forza Horizon 4, Halo Master Chief Collection, Halo 5 Guardians, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 and Titanfall 2. Then we reach 2020. It was a really tough year, as many of us were stuck indoors throughout most of it. This was the year when Sony and Microsoft were releasing PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. My hope was I could start off by getting a PS5 by Christmas that year. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be, as scalpers were stealing PS5s left, right and centre. You can imagine how devastated I was that I wouldn't get one on launch year. I got myself a 4K TV instead. Luckily, there was hope by the time we got to Christmas 2021, as that Christmas I finally got my hand on the PS5. PS5 has definitely evolved what PlayStation is capable of, with a much bigger controllers, quite unique console design which has an airflow coming from the front of the console. The first games I played on PS5 were Spider-Man Miles Morales, Deathloop, and Call of Duty Vanguard. I've been loving the graphics on PS5 so far, and looking forward to seeing more potential coming out of PS5 game releases. Current games I've been enjoying on PS5 are Ghosts of Yotei, Helldivers 2, Fortnite Crimson Desert, Split Fiction Forspoken, and GTA Online. And then exactly a few months later, I would finally get to upgrade my Xbox One X to Xbox Series X. The games I got for my Xbox Series X when I first had the console were Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania and Among Us. Both consoles have backwards compatibility support, so I was able to keep some PS4 and Xbox One games to continue playing them on these consoles. Of course, most games had free upgrades to PS5 and Xbox Series X versions of those games, whereas others you had to pay for the upgrade. I'm really enjoying the fact that I can play games on my 4K Ultra HD TV. The amount of detail that PS5 and Series X and S games have definitely setting the standard for future console graphic upgrades that will come. My hope is that both consoles will continue to push boundaries before we reach the next series of consoles. Recent times, I got myself a Nintendo Switch 2, which I plan to grow my library of games throughout the year. My gaming journey has come a long way since starting with the PS1 days. My goal is to continue growing my love for gaming by getting new exciting games, hopefully get my hands on a Steam Machine, Rogue Xbox Ally, or a Steam Deck, so I have a way to play PC games with my friends and still be a PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo gamer for years to come. Next week is a very special episode. I'm going to be joined by a group of my friends to share our excitement for everything that was announced from Summer Game Fest, PlayStation State of Play, Xbox Game Showcase, and more. And also invite my community to share what games they're excited for too. This is Respawn on the Spectrum, and thank you for listening.